Welcome back to another episode of Riding Around with Bean Fiend. Today, I'm here with a rapper from Chicago, and that is, what's your name?
I'm the sorcerer from Kaczynski Composite Sketch.
That's what's up. And what is Kaczynski Composite Sketch?
Kaczynski Composite Sketch is a psychedelic hip-hop project I started 3 years ago, and it's mostly the vehicle by which I rap and write and produce. I didn't want to do that under a solo name because I always wanted it to be a more flexible thing. Like maybe at some point there will be somebody else in Kaczynski Composite Sketch.
I see. And how long have you been doing it for?
So I've been making music for 4 years, but Kaczynski Composite Sketch has existed for 3 years. And that's the amount of time I've lived in Chicago as well.
So where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Venezuela.
All right.
But I came to the USA when I was 6 years old. My family moved to Utah.
Okay.
Actually, because my parents were experimenting with Mormonism. So they went to Utah, and I guess they were Mormon for about a couple of years.
Yeah.
But after that, when I was a teen, we moved to Denver, and I'd say that's where I grew up. That's where I spent all my teen years, and that's where I went to college.
Okay.
And I also went to college in Kansas City, and then from there, I moved here.
That's what's up. And how do you like living in Chicago? What do you think of it?
Oh, I love it. I love Southside.
Mm-hmm.
I love this neighborhood. I love McKinley Park. I love Brighton Park. I love getting around by bus. I'm used to having a car and driving long distances, but you actually get a lot of ideas for lyrics on the bus.
That's what's up. What do you think about all the graffiti when you see it? Would you say that there's more graffiti in like Chicago than Utah and Denver?
I'd say definitely more than in Utah, but Denver and Kansas City also had graffiti culture for sure. I mean, you'd see a lot of the same taggers tagging their name on very interesting surfaces, right? And you see the same thing here. I think here in Southside, there's a guy named Viral, but I don't see him as much as this other guy that I used to see all the time named Dave One, who was in Kansas City, I think. And he would tag his name everywhere. It was actually really impressive, like on the side of an overpass. But here in Chicago, I'll give a shout out to Cool Sig, who is the tagger I see the most and in the most creative crevices.
That is what's up. Yeah, I always thought tagging is a cool thing. It's the idea of just being like, I was here. I feel like in Chicago, one of my favorite taggers is X-Men. I don't know if you've seen them.
No, I haven't seen them.
Yeah, they're by like the Damon Silos and stuff, more kind of by like the north side area. There's some.
Oh, I have seen them actually. I've seen the X-Men tag.
It says X-Men, and then there's also CMK. That one's cool too. That's like a whole group. And I really like them. They're cool and stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of respect for taggers. There's actually a really good documentary about tagging in New York in the 70s. It's called Style Wars.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, I love that one. I'm super into that culture.
And like rapping wise, what are some of your inspirations?
My favorite rapper is this rapper from primarily the 90s named Sean Price.
Okay.
And he was part of a rap duo called Helta Skelta. And he was also part of the Boot Camp Clique. So he's not really well known, but I love him because he rapped in a lot of different flows and a lot of different styles. He's really versatile, but also he strikes this balance that I like between wordplay, but also being real and impactful with a simple line when you need to be.
I see. And do you think that more people like, for example, a lot of like rap, for example, your rap, I would give other examples like MF Doom and Ghostface Killer, their rap is all like saying real shit. Do you think more rappers should start to do that and not kind of glorify like drugs and the women? Do you think they should speak about more powerful stuff?
I think it depends. You know, I actually think it's really valuable when you're an artist or a writer to know what your voice is, but also being able to recognize somebody that does something completely different than you. Because, you know, sometimes when you're rapping about the drugs and the women, or the kind of rapper that does that, you know, you have to see where they're coming from, whether it's their life authentically, or if it's not their life authentically, a lot of people would call that a front, but I'd actually just say that's a great fiction writer. You know, like
Yeah.
what's the difference between them and, say, somebody like Stephen King, who I think is great,
Yeah.
personally, right, at coming up with these fantastic stories or coming up with a character and using that as a vehicle to rap through. But, you know, I have such a deep respect for all of hip-hop and all of rap that it's hard for me to say that it should be going in one direction or another.
Do you like any Spanish rap groups like Low Barrio 1631 or the Santa Fe Clan and like all them?
Well, lately I've actually been really into lyrical Colombian rappers.
Oh, that's what's
because they have a really colorful lyrical scene where, you know, their thing right now, as far as I know, from what I've read online, is just coming up with really strong bars, really strong wordplay, and a couple of the artists that I particularly like are Luis Siete Lunes and Hardem. So check them out if you haven't already.
All right. And just some off the top questions before I get to my notepad questions. Chicken nuggets or chicken wings?
The chicken wings.
Chicken wings or Chicago style hot dog?
The hot dog.
Okay. Chicago style hot dog or chili dog?
Chicago style.
Cheese fries or onion rings?
Onion rings.
Onion rings or tater tots?
Tater tots.
Tater tots or cheese curds?
Cheese curds.
Mario or Sonic?
Mario.
Minecraft or Roblox?
I never played either.
Never played either?
No.
GTA or Saint Row?
GTA.
Okay. Let me see, any other games? Kirby or Zelda?
Kirby.
All right. Let me get to the notepad questions. I got it in my pocket. Okay. Nacho Libre or Kung Fu Panda?
Now that's a tough question. Nacho Libre.
Okay. English rap or Spanish?
I'm gonna say English because it was created here.
Tortas or tamales?
Tamales.
Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon?
Cartoon Network.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Your dream feature?
To feature on or
Both. To feature on and someone to feature with you.
Cool Keith?
Okay. For both?
For both.
That's what's up. Why do you wear suits in your performances?
Because it feels like going to church. And I want to look, you know, it's an important occasion.
That's what's up. I really fuck with that. That's what caught my eye in the beginning. I'm like, this is heat. Some guy rapping in
Thank
Spanish
you.
wearing a suit. That's very creative. I've never seen something done like that.
Well, you know, I love the showmanship of somebody like James Brown or something. He's gonna show up and he's gonna sing and he's gonna dance and he's gonna go all out, but he's still wearing a suit, you know? And I like that about like the 1900s bluesmen, you know, that they all performed in suits. And I think that should come back.
What do you think about what's going on in the world right now? What do you have to say about this?
What in particular?
Let's see. Well, we can start with Chicago originally being a sanctuary state and then having more ICE agents come and do fuck shit at the courthouses and all that. We can start with that if you would like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's important for humans to show each other compassion and you have to love people just for existing. That's what I believe. And if that's the case, then I think immigrants are deserving of compassion and deserving of love. And I think they're just people who are trying to get by and are trying to create a good life for themselves and their families.
What do you think about us bombing Iran and all that?
Oh, man. Well, you know, I don't think we should be participating in that. I mean, obviously the USA has a dark and sordid history of being a watchdog. Not necessarily a watchdog, more like a, you know, like a world police. And that has led to the creation of more sophisticated problems. So, you know, it's just a sequel to something that has been happening in this country, in that region of the world, since essentially, I mean, the creation of Aramco. Maybe before that even, I'm not so sure. But, you know, the U.S. has a very strong history of imperialism and wars of aggression. And, you know, I'm fundamentally against that for the USA.
Yeah. What do you think when you said that you make psychedelic rap? What do you think about MK Ultra in the 50s when they made the U.S. soldiers take acid?
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah?
I think it's hilarious they did that. I mean, I feel bad for the soldiers. I mean, who knows what kind of things they went through.
Yeah.
Maybe they liked it. Maybe it helped them in life. I don't know.
They said that in the reports that it made them become like psychotic and all that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was a really negative effect. But
Yeah,
it is funny to think of the idea as America. They're like, we're going to give these guys acid for the fuck of it.
Yeah,
that's just a crazy way to think. I can see it like that.
Yeah, they're just doing whatever they want, aren't they? But no, I do feel bad. I do feel bad for whoever went crazy because they took too much acid and there was no way for them to get help.
It's like the K2 in prisons where they make the artificial weed that the government made with K2. That shit's wicked too. It makes them tweak
Really?
out.
Is that like the stuff you buy at the gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked my brain up with that stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I used to live next to a gas station. I totally fucked my brain up with some Delta 8 gummies or something.
The Delta 8 gummies and KJ thing was crazy. Well, to end this interview off, what do you want to say to the people listening?
Check out Kaczynski Composite sketch. Love your neighbor. Listen to your soul. Don't let anybody else tell you what you are or what you want to be.
And that concludes this episode of Riding Around with Bean Fiend.